Hello, my name is Tessa LaPolt, and I worked with both Adriana Maxon and Caden Cook, and this is our presentation and our management plan for the state of New York for Ways 101 Apocalypse Now. Vaccination SOS, saving our state. Zoonotic diseases are diseases that spread from animals to humans. When these diseases spread to humans, it's an event known as zoonotic spillover. Due to the changing of our society and the effect on the ecosystem, animals and humans interact much more than they used to. Because of this, zoonotic diseases have become much more common in recent years, with 3 of every 4 emerging diseases being a zoonotic disease. Some of the most notable zoonotic diseases in recent years include bird flu, rabies, and the most recent coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. Some zoonotic diseases are simply a nuisance, while others are deadly. Every year, just short of 60,000 people die from human rabies. That's over half the population of St. Lawrence County and 4 times the population of Potsdam, New York. Rabies is a zoonotic disease spread from the direct contact of saliva of an infected animal. Most rabies infections in the US are caused by wild animals, but there are some cases of rabies that were contracted by pets that were bit by an infected animal. Raccoons, bats, and skunks are the most responsible animal in New York State for rabies. There's no treatment after the symptoms begin, and human rabies are 99% deadly. But rabies can be prevented. There are many ways to try and combat the spread of zoonotic diseases. 3 of the most prevalent methods are culling, spraying, and vaccination. Culling involves killing the animal. This can be a partial cull, which would only be killing the animals that are testing positive for the disease they're trying to cull, or they could just cull all of the animals. Spraying involves a chemical from planes that kills mosquitoes that is sprayed on a wide area. There are many forms of vaccination for animals. This includes traditional vaccination, which would be like the shots that humans get, bait vaccination, which would involve orally ingesting them, transmissible, which would involve traditionally vaccinating them with a type of vaccine and letting them out into the wild, and then transferable vaccination, which involves a paste. All of these methods are proven to be effective, but some only target one animal, or there are just too many risks. There are pros and cons for all 3, but one is a very clear choice for New York State. For my consultation with the state of New York, my team will be recommending the use of both aerial bait and transferable vaccines. We are also going to be strongly discouraging the use of culling and spraying. These types of vaccination will be the best method to help manage the spread of zoonotic diseases in the state of New York. Aerial baits are dropped from planes at high altitude to cover a large area and reach a multitude of animals. Cases have shown foxes, raccoons, coyotes, and rabid canines have all eaten these bait packages and shown to have traces of the vaccine in their system. Animals consume the bait, which normally contains a small package, and when they bite it, their teeth tear into the package and the vaccine squirts into their mouth. There are also some vaccines that involve having food with the vaccine inside of it, so they eat it, and that also works. These vaccines are much less labor intensive than other methods. In traditional vaccination, the animals need to be trapped, vaccinated, and then released. Not only do aerial bait vaccines eliminate the need to trap, vaccines can be spread all around an area and vaccinate hundreds from just one pass of a plane dropping these vaccines. There are also cases that show the possibility of a booster effect, with some animals eating multiple vaccines. These baits are not toxic to children and pose no threat to the surrounding wildlife. This method is shown to be incredibly effective, with the state of Texas having eradicated canine rabies in 2008, with monthly drops of these bait packages occurring every January. Transferable vaccines is the method of administering a paste containing a vaccine on the body of the animal. The animal is released back to their colony, where they rub around with the rest of their colony or herd, and the vaccine spreads to them, and then These animals that have now touched the first vaccinated animals can spread it to other. This vaccine is incredibly effective at 84%. Transferable vaccines are a great option because they can target bats. Bats are hard to traditionally vaccinate, and they don't really like getting caught. No animal does, but the main way to stop the spread of zoonotic diseases in bats formerly was culling. Culling is just not as reliable as a method. These vaccines are much more humane than other methods, killing them. Transferable vaccines are also much more cost effective because there's no need for planes to spread this vaccine. It's spread from one or two bats that have to be caught to the rest of their colony. There are other methods than vaccination, but I just really don't think they're the best choice for management plan for the state. Culling is the process of killing the animals to prevent the spread of the virus. This process is not only inhumane, there are many different risks associated with culling. There are incidences of the wrong animal being culled. This is often seen in the culling of deer to stop Lyme disease. Lyme is not spread by deer, instead by deer ticks. Deer are merely a part of the cycle. Killing deer simply causes more ticks on a singular one. Many animal herds also migrate away from the area being culled, recognizing that their herd is dying. Culling can also have a negative effect on the economic status of a given area. Farmers' herds are also at risk of culling, which can be a major detriment to their livelihood. In November of 2020, over 17 million mink were culled. This was in an attempt to stop the SARS-CoV-2 virus. This has affected the mink industry for years to come, as Denmark was the world's leading mink production company. Spraying is the act of spraying adulticide from planes to kill mosquitoes. Because of the plane, this method is more expensive than others. There are also cases have shown that spraying poses a threat to wildlife. One case of spraying in 1999 killed millions of lobsters in the nearby sound. Spraying only works for one animal, unlike other methods like vaccination or culling that can target multiple animals. While mosquitoes are annoying, they don't pose a major threat in the state of New York. Other zoonotic diseases like rabies and Lyme disease pose a much bigger threat. Spraying can also pose harm to water and food resources. When it rains after an area is culled, the spray can travel into local water sources. Spraying also does not allow for selective killing, like culling does. Every mosquito hit with the spray is going to die. These sprays also pose a risk to our pollinators, which play an incredibly important part of the ecosystem. Zoonotic diseases are dangerous, and they're going to continue to kill more people if there's no action, and it is incredibly important to agree on a statewide management plan as soon as possible. When considering labor, time, price, and overall effectiveness, the use of vaccination among animals can save millions of lives, and it's the best choice moving forward. Because of this, my team and I will be recommending aerial bait vaccines and transferable vaccines for the management plan in the state of New York. Thank you.